Are you in a good mood today?
I am in a good mood.
Okay.
It's our anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Do you like the little setup here?
I do. This was very nice.
How cute is it?
This is very nice.
How's it smelling?
Well, it's not real. It's paper. It's very nice. So you're in a good mood, because I feel like you weren't in a good mood for the last few episodes that we did.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, I think so, because your army came after me. They all came after me.
No, let's talk about the controversy, not even controversy, but the trigger warning we needed to put in that video, because...
Which one? There were a couple. There were a couple that people were mad at me.
There were a couple, but I'm talking about the latest one, which I found to be so interesting.
There were two latest ones. One was about the feather tickling thing, where people think I should sit on the floor for an hour and tickle you with a feather.
Okay.
That was one.
Yeah.
And then the other one, when I told you not to wear your weird mesh shoes.
No, that's not at all. No.
Did you read the comments on that?
The mesh shoes?
Yeah.
No.
I have screenshots of what people said. I'm going to read them. Can I read what people said? Or see, this is the face that you're like you're in a bad mood. You do this weird face when we talk.
You know what's so interesting? I'll tell you. I found it to be just like so not serious that I can't even entertain the comments that felt, you know,
I do entertain them. No,
of people that were triggered by it.
But they're entertainment for me. I find them very funny. I'm going to read some of them.
Okay, show me what entertained you so much.
I'm gonna tell you.
So just to give context to our listeners, the video that he's talking about is us leaving to the airport. We had a flight to catch, and I was wearing my mesh shoes. And I knew that Gary will not be down with it. And I was right. I had my phone recording you when I was stepped out with my outfit. And you're like, no, go and change your shoes.
It's ridiculous. Why would you wear open shoes like that? First of all.
He's like, it's so unhygienic. We're going on a flight. You have to change your shoes. And it was really funny. I changed my shoes because the argument of unhygienic was actually pretty valid. I changed my shoes and I left. We posted that video, and I mean, I haven't seen the comments, so...
I'm going to tell you now.
I just saw in the beginning where everyone was like, we agree with the mesh shoes, no mesh shoes.
Actually, people from the airline industry came on and said that I was factually correct.
They approve your message.
They say that it's true. You shouldn't wear open shoes on an airplane, that it's not hygienic. Anyways, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So one person wrote, I was your fan, but after this video, I'm not. I know for you it's unimportant. # but I do not want to be a fan of a person who lives in a toxic relationship. This is not normal if a husband talks like this.
You're going to husband jail.
Yeah, so then there was like a whole string, like people came to my defense. Another one, sorry, it's not his business. # it's your choice. You're rude. I don't like the way you talk to her. She is a very sweet woman. And we're following her, not you. So somebody came to my defense and said, I don't think it's meant to be taken that way at all. And he is laughing with her and being very gentle.
Isn't it interesting what triggers people? I actually was referring to not this video, because again, this video is so silly to me. But I was more referring to the video of the sensuality.
Right.
The amount of women that felt triggered, not by the conversation of sensuality, but more about you saying that it's nonsense. And, you know, reading the comments, it was really interesting to me because, first of all, it made me realize that a lot of people don't actually see on social media real couple interactions. Because for them to see someone have a different opinion than you is in a relationship is just like, oh my God, what is this? You know, they were so shocked by the fact that you had your own very strong opinion about this matter.
Well, I think if I had to guess, I would guess that most of the people that were making comments and that were offended by me, they were saying how I was dismissing your opinion and I was just very dismissive and demeaning to you. I just think those are people who probably aren't in relationships. And I think if they are in relationships, then the men that they're in relationships with are miserable. Because it's no big deal for me to say that I don't agree with something and that I think something is nonsense.
You know what? I don't think that it's the way that you disagree. I think maybe it's your tone of voice, but I think what people forget is that there are two people in this relationship,
Sure.
and you are a very much an alpha man.
I don't know if I'm an alpha man, but the tone of my voice is the tone of my voice. And
No, 100%. But what I'm trying to say is that I know how you communicate. You know how I communicate. There is no one way of communication. To me, when you say certain things, we've been together for 13 years. Today, we're celebrating 12 years of marriage. You know my limits, you know my boundaries, I know yours. You know not to speak to me in a way where it can take me over the edge.
I feel that well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel in the entire time that we've been together, I've never talked down to you or in a disrespectful way. Have I?
I don't think intentionally, but I'm sure that there were times, just like there were probably times when I spoke to you in a certain way where you like put your foot down, being like, no, this is like, I don't want that kind of communication. And I'm sure that I've had those as well. And that's normal. That's healthy. That's how it should be.
So, I mean, I think a lot of it was the use of the word nonsense. I think the word nonsense is a triggering word in today's
listen to me.
Gen Z millennial.
So I actually have a theory, because you know me, I'm sitting with these things. I'm thinking about it. I'm intellectualizing it. Yeah, because to me, I'm like, what a great opportunity to understand human psychology better. Because at the end of the day, if it was one person, I'm like, okay, this is one person.
Do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the problem that these people have is?
What?
That they don't have a problem. The problem is they literally don't have a problem.
So I disagree with you.
They have nothing else going on.
I disagree with you. I think, and I came to that insight and kind of a theory based on a DM that I got. I got this DM of a young woman that messaged me in a very respectful way, and she said,
in a very what?
Respectful
way?
Respectful way.
Yeah.
I just spat on you, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
In a very
You're
respectful,
my wife.
In a very respectful way, and she said, you know, I read the comments and I also was triggered. I understand that it has nothing to do with you and it has something to do with me. It made me realize how it triggers this feeling of dismissiveness that I've had my whole life from men around me in my family. And that's what made me really angry. But obviously for you, it didn't trigger you at all. You don't have that in your relationship.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that time years ago when I asked you, like, what are these new shoes that you got? And I was just asking you because I was just curious about your new shoes, and you took it in a way that you brought in your kind of childhood trauma of seeing your mom being questioned when she spent money.
Absolutely.
And you got mad at me. I'm like, what are you mad at me for? I'm just asking what these shoes are.
Yeah, and I instigated a fight that had nothing to do with you. Yeah, you were just there to, you know, to be part of it. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's so fascinating and also so telling to look at these comments and conversations. And honestly, that's why I love social media. And you see the wounds that people have. And, you know, for me, when we create content, what I've realized, before I was very scared to share my true opinion because I didn't want to trigger people thinking that that's a negative thing. When I'm starting to realize that I actually want to create more space, not for triggering content, but for content that is authentic to me, that I'm speaking my mind, but that can also be a thought starter for people. You know what I mean? If they feel triggered, to ask the question why.
My point is that the people who are triggered by things like that, by seeing like actual real and I would argue to be constructive communication by people who have been married for a long time and have multiple children together, the reality is that only a very small percentage of the people will look at that and take something positive away from it and then go back and understand what triggered them and realize, you know, what in their past, because their past is in many ways defining them, what in their past is causing this problem for them. So a very small percentage will do that. However, the much larger percentage will just be upset and they'll want to tune back in to see what else will upset them because they like being upset.
Yeah, 100%. And I am here for the ones, even if it's one woman, like the woman that DM'd me, that recognized that pain inside of her.
Yeah.
I know that she left that after viewing that video, sitting with it and figuring out how to, you know, go about it. And that to me is so powerful. One woman, I don't know about the rest. And then those who are triggered, I actually think that, you know how it is. You keep reliving the same experiences and the same emotions until you face them head on. So eventually they'll get there. But if we can be a vessel and we can use my platform and show real conversations and real couple dynamic, I think that there's so much power to it. Also, another thing that was so interesting to me, in that specific video as well, someone commented, "Oh, I used to think you guys are a power couple, but this proved me wrong." And I was like, what is a power couple to you? Like, what does that mean, a power couple?
I'm more curious, regardless of what it means to that person, why is it now because I was dismissive of something that I didn't believe in?
That I don't really, I didn't think about it. That for me, I was like, what is the definition of a power couple? Is a power couple someone that are constantly on the same like wavelength, that speak the same language, think the same thoughts, that are united at all times? Or is a power couple, like we are sold this completely distorted idea, and maybe that's why it's really hard for women to find partners, right? Or for men to find partners. I think it's this idea that we've been sold that it just needs to look a certain way, where I was looking at this conversation, I'm like, this is a power couple. Well, we're able to each hold our ground and to speak our mind.
I think power couple refers to two people who are just kind of both successful in their common fields, or who have come together to achieve a level of success.
But what is success, right? Like, what is success?
Typically it has to do with health. It has to do with longevity. It has to do with money. It has to do with having children,
relationship, with communication,
happiness.
Of course.
I don't think anybody's sitting around saying that like success is defined by effective communication.
Well, I think maybe that's the next definition. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/notalone and get on your way to being your best self. If there's something I've learned throughout the years, is that comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. Especially on social media, it looks like everyone has their lives together, but in reality, they probably don't. If you want to start focusing on what you want rather than what other people have, therapy is an amazing way to start living your best life. The idea behind Not Alone is to share issues we all experience, but don't always feel comfortable talking about. You can take it a step further with BetterHelp. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you need to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time with no additional charge, which is a huge benefit compared to the in-person sessions. When it comes to starting therapy, I get it. People feel apprehensive, but just because you have this uncomfortable feeling doesn't mean that you need to avoid it. I often lean into that feeling to guide me through what it is that I need to go through. So take it as a sign and explore it more. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/notalone today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/notalone.
At the end of the day, in any kind of relationship, specifically a marriage and a long-term marriage, the most important thing is the ability to resolve conflict. Conflict resolution, it's one of the many things that keeps a marriage together. And, young people who are starting out and who are considering to be with someone, they're looking at the situation, in my opinion, incorrectly. They're looking at the situation, do I get along with this person? Am I on the same page as this person? Am I in constant agreement with this person? And the reality is that is not what's actually important. What's important is your ability to, as a team, resolve conflict. Because realistically, when you're together with somebody and you're always agreeing on everything, then you're not growing. Because unless you have
a yes man.
You have yes people. I mean, unless you have healthy conflict, healthy disagreements, then you're not moving ahead. You're always on the same page and you're complacent. It's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, it hurts.
Yeah.
It's painful, right? But you're resolving that because you then go back and you get enough rest, you have enough protein, you do the things that are important to do. And you use the correct techniques when you're breaking down your muscles, right? So again, like when you're with someone, I highly recommend to people that when they're in in a relationship and they're considering getting married, it's not about finding someone that always agrees with you, because there's no progress in agreement. The progress comes from conflict and the ability to resolve it effectively.
Yeah. And even when people come together, when they do agree on everything, there comes a time, especially when you're younger, there comes a time where they're starting this individuation process within a relationship. What? Individuation. That's a word.
Individuation?
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
It's like individual, but
I understand where you derived it from. I'm not trying to challenge you. Everybody relax.
No, I'm not challenging. I would love you to tell me if it's not the way to do it.
I want to see if it's a real word. Individuation. Individuation. I think it is a real word. Individuation is the process by which an individual becomes distinct. Individuation distinguishes you from everybody else. The word individual is a good clue to the meaning of individuation.
Amazing. So there comes when you in a relation, I am going to remember this for so long. I'm going to be remember that time.
It doesn't surprise me. You read like 17 books a day. I mean, yeah, you should be.
I'm happy it's retaining, but there's comes this individuation process, and then there is going to be these clashes and disagreements. And if you are not, if you look at it from the wrong perspective, you might think I'm in a bad relationship. This is not for me anymore. It's time to leave. Where in reality, this is a healthy progress. This is a welcomed progress in a relationship. I saw this one clip of Viola Davis. She was saying how marriage doesn't start when you say I do. Marriage starts when you look at your partner and you think about 1,000 ways to kill them. And then you think about how hard it is and how difficult. And then 10 seconds later, you think about how much you love them, and you continue to commit and commit and commit.
See, it's not that hard for me.
How many times have you thought about ways to kill me?
I don't think of ways to kill you. That's nonsense.
Not even.
No, why?
Just when it's so annoying,
I just leave.
Yeah, but don't you have
No, I just go away. I think at my age, there's I don't waste my my mental bandwidth on those kind of thoughts. They're just not productive for me.
They're intrusive. It's not like you're sitting and being literally mapping my murder, but just a little bit. It just goes in and then it leaves.
No, I don't. I just let you do your thing, because I also understand that you're under a lot of pressure, and we both are. No, I don't have this thing. I think that's one of the reasons why our marriage is successful, is because I'm so good. Yeah, because I'm not thinking of ways to kill you. It's interesting for me that you're thinking of ways to kill me.
I don't think about it actively, but sometimes when you are super annoying, or when I'm in a certain mood and you just say the wrong thing in a wrong tone, I'm just I
don't feel I'm super annoying. I think you're just upset that I'm correct, and you're just kind of dealing with it.
Listen, I love how you take zero accountability and responsibility for just your own existence. That's fine. But I'm just saying that I thought about it a couple of times throughout the 12 years of our marriage.
Really? I didn't know you were trying to kill me.
But not actively. It's an intrusive thought. And then I look at you and I'm like, oh, I love this guy. I love him.
What were you just going to call me?
I love this guy.
All right.
Coming at you with one of today's sponsors, K12. As a parent, you want to set your kids up for success, and that starts with empowering them to learn in ways that are best for them. Having 3 boys that are so different from each other also showed me how each of them have their own way of learning and consuming information. So I started going out there and figuring out and finding ways to get them engaged, and that's how I learned about K12. K-12 powered schools are accredited tuition-free online public schools for students in kindergarten throughout 12th grade. They're designed with an engaging curriculum that supports individual learning styles. With K-12, the learning is personalized and it provides the flexibility for your family and what you guys need. The best thing about it is that school can be anywhere. If you have access to the internet, you're good to go. So the kids can learn at their own pace in their own place. The school have state-certified teachers specially trained in teaching online and utilizing hands-on, innovative technology to make learning interactive. They also offer social opportunities, extracurricular activities, and in-person events. K-12 has more than 20 years experience helping students gain the skills they need to thrive in the future. Join the more than 2 million families who have been served by K-12 and empower your student to reach their full potential now. Go to k12.com/Valeria today to learn more and find a tuition-free K-12 powered school near you. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/Valeria. k12.com/Valeria. Okay, so for 12-year anniversary, you know, I was talking to Mary, my best friend, the other day, and she was saying how she's a Leo, so she loves, not that it has any connection, I know you're not into that kind of astrology, but she loves gifts. Like, she loves gifts.
Because she was born at a certain time, she loves gifts?
That's just her character. I can't explain it. Don't worry about it.
So she loves gifts because that's her character, or because she was born at a certain time?
No, she wasn't born at a certain time. It's her character. She loves gifts. And she, in the relationship, like Larry knows, she trained Larry, like, you buy me nice gifts, and that's my love language. We stopped buying each other gifts long time ago, and I think I initiated it because I do remember in the beginning of our marriage, you used to surprise me with really extravagant gifts. Do you remember that ostrich Louis Vuitton bag that you got me for, I think it was Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, I don't know what. And then it was like jewelry or bags or anything like that.
I recall, yeah.
Yeah, and you're very generous in general, but that's not my love language. And I also don't give gifts. So we kind of stopped giving each other gifts on those specific occasions.
Yeah, I stopped giving you gifts because you didn't care for the gifts. And it would trigger me when I would buy you gifts and I would never see them again.
I remember.
I would never see them again.
Or when I don't treat them like...
You treat them like complete garbage.
I'm not laughing at it.
I also bought you a Range Rover and you left the keys in it and it got stolen. You just don't care.
I just thought we live in a safer world.
No, that's not what you thought. You just don't care about material things in general, so you just leave them out all the time. I'm always running after you and putting stuff in the safe.
Not anymore.
I literally do it all the time. Do you think it's by magic that your expensive stuff gets into the safe?
Honestly, yeah.
Do you even know the code to the safe?
Yeah, of course I do.
I'm not going to ask you for it now, but...
Of course I do.
I don't think you do. I think you have it. I think you have it written down somewhere.
I actually know a lot of things that you think that I don't know, but I don't actively do them because I have you and I love you.
Do you know where my death letter is?
Yeah,
my letter that if I die that you should read, but you're not going to read it unless that happens?
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
I know where everything is.
Anyway, so I stopped it. Once I bought your mom a nice Louis Vuitton bag. I thought it was nice. She didn't think it was nice, clearly, because I bought it for her and I literally never saw it again. Not once.
Yeah.
I remember I gave it to her at the shish kebab house on Steeles Avenue. The shish kebab place, yeah.
That was really nice. But
did you have a conversation with her afterwards and she said like, it was very nice of him, but this is a disgusting bag?
No, not at all.
So why didn't she ever wear the bag?
You know what's funny? Both my mom and I really enjoy gifts when we buy it for ourselves. It's like the weirdest thing. That's why I even remember when I bought myself the mini Kelly. It was like my first huge expense.
Yeah, I remember you called me from New York, yeah.
Yeah, I called you from New York, but I needed to buy it. Like, I cannot...
You literally never wear it.
That's not the point. That's
I don't understand.
Investment.
It's not an investment.
I'm going to wear it because now it's summer. So actually, I'm going to go into the safe.
It's always summer where we live. It's literally always summer. Every day is summer. 365 days a year.
But you know what it is? It's like I do it with things that are expensive that I keep. They are just coming in and out of my life. Like remember these diamond earrings? Well, I'm not wearing them right now. But the diamond earrings that I wear every day, I haven't worn them in like 8 years, I think. Maybe 7 years. And now I wear them all the time.
There's a gift that I want.
What is your gift? Another motorcycle?
I want another motorcycle. It's a 2024.
Do you want me to buy you gifts? I guess that's my question. What is your love language?
I just want you to buy me a motorcycle. I think if you were to buy me this motorcycle, it would mean a lot to me because this.
But how is it a surprise if you know exactly what it is that you're asking for? Like, how is it? Not that it's a surprise, but how is it?
You know how it's a surprise if you say, If we're sitting there and you'd be like a Saturday afternoon, because that's when all the salespeople are at the Harley Davidson dealership. If you say, hey, surprise, let's go buy that motorcycle you want. And I'll be like, oh my God, surprise, let's go. And then we'd go get in the car and we'd go to the dealership and we'd buy the motorcycle.
You literally gave me the playbook. You're like,
yeah,
step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Street Glide. It's a 2024 Street Glide.
Yeah.
Black hardware, black paint. Yeah. There's an ST model. It's on the showroom floor. It's got red trim. It's black with little red accents. That's the one I want.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
So we stopped buying each other gifts because we just don't. I don't appreciate them.
What's the point? We have at this point you have everything. So I don't know what other gift am I going to give you? All I would if I would buy for you, if I would go and buy for you another piece of jewelry or a bag, you would just put it away. I'd never see it again, and you would never.
That is 100% correct.
Right.
Tell me if I asked for a gift, what would you go and buy me right now?
If you asked for a gift,
yeah, I'll be like, okay, I'm expecting a gift.
Whatever you tell me to go buy you, I'll go buy.
No, but I'm not telling you. Where would you go?
Well, I know you want to make me happy, so I'd go get a motorcycle for myself. You're just the happiest you are is when you see that I'm happy. So I don't know what I would get for you. I don't know. I have no idea. You literally, I don't know. I don't know what other handbag there is in the world that you would want. I don't think you care.
I shouldn't talk about these things, so you wouldn't know.
You don't talk to. There are still handbags on the planet that you want?
No, I'm not talking about these things. Like, I don't talk about bags and stuff, so you won't know because I just don't.
Whenever you've ever mentioned to me in passing that there's something you want, I just go out and buy it.
That's true.
You mentioned you wanted a certain watch. I went and I bought that watch. Literally, I did that twice.
That's true.
I did that twice. I did that once with a rose.
That was a really nice gift. I love that gift. Which one?
There were 2 of them I did over the years.
Both of them were amazing, but the most recent one was very special.
You saw it somewhere socially. We were out, and you didn't even say I want it. You said, "Oh, that's a nice watch."
Yeah.
Because I'm a dangerous guy. If you say, "Oh, that's nice," I'm just gonna go out and buy it.
That's true. It took me a couple of years to learn to be very careful with what I comment on things. Because you would just go and get it. And sometimes it was just like a nice little comment, and the next day I have it. And I'm like, oh, shit.
How close to when I've done things like that, how close is the times when you think about how to kill me? Are they far apart? Like, how long am I safe for? You didn't
buy my love. It's not like when you got me gifts, I was like...
It's not about buying your love. I mean, I did something nice. It obviously touched your heart, the fact that...
No, you weren't annoying then, so I didn't think about killing you.
When was I annoying?
Baby, maybe twice in our 12 years of marriage where I thought about like...
Killing me. Well, that's nice. Okay. Good to know.
Not killing you. You're making it sound like I'm sitting and like plotting a whole thing.
I'm just saying what you said. Those are the words you used.
No, I'm just saying that it's just like, it happens in every relationship where you just look and you just... Anyways. Don't take it personally. It's not that unique.
Okay. We talk about taking risks as a couple. But, it's interesting because people, and I don't think they understand this, especially like at the early stages of their relationship. When we talk about taking risks, people are taking risks literally from the day that they meet, right? So people continue to take risks. When someone meets, when a man and a woman meet and they're considering dating, every additional date they go on is a risk, and then the risk gets higher and higher, and then of course when they get married, it's a massive risk because a very large percentage of marriages end up in divorce with broken homes and like disturbed children as a result. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that you and I never did is we continue not to stand still. Like, we're constantly in this state of risking things, and it's interesting because I feel like we're very different than a lot of people, at least a lot of people that I've met, and I feel now we're surrounding ourselves more. I feel we're much more in our element here in Miami, where we're around other I want to say couples, because we mostly interact with couples that are also kind of big risk takers. And I feel like we continue to do that. Like, we continue to do things that are risky and that make us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But in all aspects, I mean, in business, definitely, that's definitely something that, we continue to take risks on, when it's starting new projects, potentially hiring, a new person, just expanding what we're doing, because we could have a long time ago said, you know what, like, we're kind of comfortable where we are. Let's just continue doing this. I believe it's far riskier to be complacent and get to a certain level and try to maintain versus try to grow. Because if you're not in a constant state of trying to grow whatever it is that you're doing, whether that's business, whether that's your relationship, your relationship with your children, your relationship with your friends, your hobbies, your interests. That's why I want to go from 1 motorcycle to 2. It's all about
more risk.
It's more risk. Well, it's not more risk. It's more progress. But unless you're actively risking for the sake of progress, then you will eventually be in a decline.
So I have to give you the credit that you are the one in our relationship that brought that energy forward. I think one of the benefits of you being older is that you really have that understanding of urgency in life that I still don't have. And
I wish you would. I know
I
you
don't know if I'll have it.
We just talked about it.
Yeah, we just talked about it. I don't think if I'll ever have. I think we talk about different aspects of urgency.
It's not that you still have more a sense of urgency. Probably you're in the top 1 percentile in the world, and that is because of me, but you'll have to be even more. And the thing is like, I don't want to sound
you gonna
no, but it's I think what happens with most people that I know that are younger than me who come to me for advice, because I don't typically, you're the only person who I kind of give advice to without you asking me for it, because you and I are partners. But when it's like a friend or like a family member comes to me for advice, I find that they take the advice, again, when they're asking me for it, unsolicited.
Yeah.
No, not unsolicited, solicited. They're asking me for it. They listen to my advice. They don't take my advice. And then they come to me and they said, I should have taken your advice. And then they eventually end up doing it, which is fine. And I think with you, you'll eventually understand that you have to be even more urgent than you already are, because that's the way that things get done. And I know this from my own personal experience, because there was a period of time when I was like in my early 30s, the business I had at that time, earlier than that, maybe like 31. The business I had at that time, it became what I felt was the definition of success at that time, because I didn't have any other definitions of success. I didn't have super successful friends around me. I was probably, of the people that I knew, I was one of the more successful ones in the cohort of people. So for a period of like maybe 8 years, I said, okay, I made it. And I felt like I made it. And for 8 years, I hung out, and every year I'd make a little bit more money, and I was very comfortable and everything was great. But I don't have many regrets in life, but that's the only thing I wish I would have kind of accelerated. I wish that I wouldn't have become complacent, coming from, starting from nothing to a point where, okay, now I'm making a certain amount of money and that's it. And I completely didn't take into consideration that things change, markets change, especially in marketing and technology. And I realize it now. And that's why I'm much more urgent with our businesses.
No, absolutely. I know that was the lesson that you've learned from that experience, and you're definitely learned that lesson and you implement it every single day. And that's why I say you're the one who's bringing that energy to our relationship, because I'm 33 and I'm operating from your experience.
In your position, sorry to interrupt you, but in your position, it's very easy to start coasting. It's very easy to say, I made it. Everything's cool. I'm 33 years old. I
mean, I don't think I'll ever have that, by the way. I don't think I'll ever have that, like, I made it.
I don't think you would have had it even. I don't think you'd be like that even if it wasn't for me around, because you're your mother's daughter, right? Your mother's also. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't have that.
She also has that urgency.
But it's a different kind of urgency, because this is a very, I live with you. So it's like, it's this everyday reminder, right? And I do appreciate it. Sometimes it's a lot for me, but I've learned how to be vocal about it and how to say, like, it's right now I don't.
I'll tell you what my biggest chill. My biggest thing when it comes to urgency, when I say to be urgent, I don't mean to do things that aren't possible, like to move mountains, to do things that are. I'm saying like at the very least to take advantage of the opportunities you have in front of you. It's taking shots when you have them. They're in front of you. Why don't you take them? Not you, but in general, why aren't people taking shots when they're presented to them?
Because I think that people are, I mean, you know what? I won't even say people, because I'm gonna only talk to my own experience. I'm busy at moving forward.
Yeah.
And the reason why we have a team and I have you in this business is to be able to catch these things. That's on this specific topic, which is not relevant for most people, by the way. But for me, I'm going to bring an example, which I thought was very interesting. We went to Austin a few days ago for an interview with Lauren and Michael at the Skinny Confidential podcast.
The Bostics.
Yeah, on the His and Hers Skinny Confidential. And
I enjoyed that a lot. That was a lot of fun.
That was really fun.
They're lovely people.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it to come out. But I had a big aha moment there, because they asked me to share my origin story, to share kind of my background and childhood. And the way I said it, I was very like, I was born in Russia, then we lived in Israel, then I came to Canada. And you were literally like, whoa, no, that's not your origin story. That's like a very sped up version. You're just stating a couple of facts, but you come from like this place, grew up this way, and you brought a lot of context to that and to that answer. And after the interview, as I do, I sat with it and I've realized that I've never owned, like my whole life I've been running away from this non-normal upbringing, that I've never really owned my story. I never share it in such a real and honest way. People don't know my background.
Yeah, but you're still not doing it. Like you're sitting here alluding to it.
Because I'm actually I want to dive really deep into it on a solo podcast, because it's really something like I'm going through it still. And I don't like to talk about things when I'm still.
I don't think you can deliver it effectively because you're biased to it, because you still have your.
But that's my challenge
I understand.
Get over.
You still have your modesty.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say. That moment that happened, and when I saw you, when you stepped in and you were like, no, this is how it is. And after that, you gave me feedback. You're like, Valeria, you need to own your story. I've realized how much I was taking away from me by not sharing it. So it's been a big thing for me. And, that's kind of a shot that you refer to. I had a shot to give context and color to who I am, and I didn't take that shot. But people move in their own pace. Like I needed to have that specific moment for it to hit me. Because there were many times before where my humility and modesty, not even humility, modesty, stopped me from showing up. But I needed that specific moment to be like, change the whole thing.
The reality is that what people don't know about you and your background, and I'm not going to get into details, but because I'm going to leave that for you for your solo podcast, which I'll be watching. But you are like the 50 Cent of the content creator world. You really are. Like you come from a gangster background and dangerous stuff, and to you it's like it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. Like,
I don't think it's a big I don't think it's not a big deal. I just think that I've just always escaped it. I never wanted to go back to it, because I was like, what I'm doing now it's a new blank page, but that's not how it works. And I'm realizing it now. And I'm excited for me to learn.
You need to provide, look, to me, what it is that you're not only missing an opportunity to, quite frankly, intrigue people for your benefit, right?
Right.
But you're missing the opportunity to relate to people and to show people that regardless of where they come from and the bad circumstances that they may find themselves in early in life, that there's a way out. There's always a way out, regardless. And the thing is, this isn't exclusive to you. Like there are so many people that you and I have met that come from.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, even the example when we had that BioDad meeting YouTube video, right? It touched so many people. It wasn't just my experience.
Yeah, but I had to push you to do that.
100%. And that was.
Do you want to provide context?
That was very special. So just to it's a term that we use internally. But just to provide context, when I was 26 years old, my mother came to me and said, I'm going to go back to Russia, to the town where we came from, because I'm going to visit my mother's grave. Do you want to come with me? To me, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it would be interesting. And then she said, if you want, you can meet your biological father. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've never met my biological father. We left Russia when I was 2 years old with my mom, and I've never seen him. So, and by the way, whenever I found photos of my mom in her youth, it was always cut in half. So I've never seen his face. So obviously it scared me a little bit, and I came to Gary and I was like, listen, I don't know if I want to go and do it. And you said, you don't know if you'll ever have this opportunity again. He might die tomorrow. So I would seize the opportunity and go and do it. And you said, and video it. Like,
yeah, because it's a good story.
It's a good story, and you just never know. It might be something that you'll even want to show the kids, it's your story. And I decided to do that. I went to Russia. It was kind of like back to roots type of video. It was the first video of its kind that I posted that felt very raw and very personal. And I was very scared posting it, because when I was editing it, I didn't decide then that I'm going to post it. But when I saw it all edited down and I saw the story, I just felt such a need to put it out there and see if other people can connect and heal through it. Because to your point, it's not just my experience. There's so many people that go through the same thing. So when I posted it, it was insane. The amount of people that reached out to me, the amount of women that reached out to me with the same stories. And it felt like I healed that wound just by putting that story out there. So it was very powerful.
Do you think that you are defined by your past? Do you think you're a sum of your past?
No, but I think that I move in certain ways because of my past, unconsciously.
I think you and people in general are a sum of their achievements, not of their past, and they should move that way. And I've been trying to do that. I
don't think I'm the sum of my achievements either.
That's your modesty.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's unfulfilling for me. To me, what are achievements? What do you mean?
Before you even asked the question of what are achievements, you instantly said no, because you right away equated achievements to how much revenue you do, how much your audience has grown.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that you just completely ignored our children in that achievement, you ignored a happy and successful marriage as an achievement. You ignored those things, which your modesty would allow you to take credit for and say that is part of what defines me.
My modesty will allow?
Your modesty would allow you
to
say that part of what defines me is my achievement in having these beautiful children, in having a marriage, marrying a man that I love. Your modesty would allow you to say that those achievements are part of what defines you. But your modesty does not allow you to say the fact that I generate X amount of dollars every year, or the fact that I have millions of people following me. That your modesty won't allow you to say it defines you.
You know what? I disagree with you there. I'll tell you what it is. Just like I don't value material things, I don't value those type of achievements. And I'll tell you why. Because those achievements feel to me like fleeting things. And I don't like to put and give power to fleeting things. So I think for me, when I think about achievements, I think about a certain place I reach to, like internally. So we're very different in that way, because you know how I go into, like I'm on my own journey. But that to me, when you say achievements and things like that, that's what it activates for me.
I wouldn't say that we're that different in terms of achievements and what defines kind of our happiness. I think I'm a lot more about I'm fulfilled by a lot of different things right now, and
I know you are.
They're a lot. It has a lot less to do with financial achievements than it used to.
I know. I can tell. You've changed a lot as a person, and there's nothing wrong. Listen, to be fulfilled by money and by career success, there's nothing wrong with it. It serves you until a certain point, and then at that point you need to find new motivation and inspiration.
I find I'm noticing lately the type of people that we gravitate towards, and the type of people that I think we are like and becoming more like. And that's this certain kind of cohort of society of people who they still highly value financial success, but they understand that the prerequisite to any success has to do with inner peace. It has to do with
values.
With values. It has to do with good relationships. It has a lot to do with just things that aren't measured by money. And so I find that this cohort of human beings, you and I are associating with the most. And again, like I really want to define them by people who still like nice things and value money and value the security and the money gives you and the stability and all of that. That's really important. But it's not all about that. And they understand that, yes, the money and all those things are one thing, but without the other side, which is the majority of what happiness and fulfillment is, and that is a good relationship with your spouse, a good relationship with your children. In many cases, experiences over material possessions. And the biggest part of it is not moving and functioning in the world to show others that you're financially successful, rather not caring what those people think. It's this certain type of people that I feel like, I've evolved into. I think you were kind of naturally like that. But when I started making money in the beginning, I was definitely more on that other side. And then, there are people who I was friends with who kind of, we all started that same way.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I eventually kind of shifted to this type of thinking. And some of them are still there.
Yeah.
And as a result, we just kind of drifted apart because it's really conflicting. What's the word? Just philosophies.
Right.
In life. But I'm really enjoying it's interesting because, and I'm sure you know who, like some of the people that I'm talking about, these are people like, there are people directly in our lives that like they have astounding wealth, like beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I never thought I would know people who are successful, and they're the most chillest people. They're just, and their values are in the right place. Like they're doing things that are good for themselves and for humanity. It's very interesting.
Yeah. I think that for me, that characteristics and that way of being, I find it in people not only that have money, but it's a very specific awareness that some people have naturally. Some people learn it at some point. Some people never get to it. But it is very special. And I think that it actually benefited our relationship a lot. I feel like it made me closer to you.
Me not caring about material stuff as much?
Not even the material stuff, but you were operating from a place of, again, different kind of motivation. And we always kind of had a little disconnect there. But now with who you are evolving and who you are now as a person, I feel closer to you in that regard. Like I feel like we're on the same page when it comes to what we're valuing now and taking.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at one thing.
What?
I'm just laughing at that after we got back from Dubai, I remember on the plane, you looked at me and you said, "Hey, do you think we should get a Rolls Royce?" Remember that?
Yeah. And listen, it will still happen.
It still influences us. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Because listen, we all want to be these super enlightened people. But at the end of the day, we live in a world that is constantly flashing in front of us these things to distract us from what actually matters.
I think a lot of this luxurious.
Also, Rolls Royce are really pretty. It's a really pretty car.
It's a really nice car. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of the marketing campaigns behind these like super high-end, ultra luxurious products, they make you feel like you're not good enough.
Of course.
Then they say, but here's the solution. You're not good enough. You're really not good enough. But here's the solution. You can buy this wildly expensive.
If you drive in a Rolls Royce, you are worthy.
But they don't need to do anything. Like they actually don't need to, because it's society that perpetuates this.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But it's funny how different societies have different kind of measures for a good life. Because I don't see that a lot in certain countries. It's not everywhere.
I think even within the United States, there are certain places
true.
That are, it's just less acceptable. Miami is one of the places that it's definitely more acceptable. I have a good friend who who lived in Toronto.
Yeah.
And he moved here years ago. And, you know, in Toronto, he would drive just a very modest car. And then here he has multiple Rolls Royces. And I said, you know, why did you move to Miami? And he said, because in Miami, I can drive in my Rolls Royce and I'm like every other rich asshole.
You become very desensitized. Like I get desensitized. I actually became so desensitized to brand. It kind of repels me when I see someone head to toe in like brands. I don't like it.
Well, there are certain brands that I think are okay. Like there's, when I say okay, I mean certain brands that are subtle. No, but I'm not
talking about the Loro Piana and stuff like that.
I'm talking about Loro Piana and Brunello Cucinelli, Tom Ford.
Those are the you don't see. Those who know.
Right.
Have you ever took a second to appreciate my willingness to take the risks that you want to take? Because I have to say, to my own credit, I haven't given you a lot of pushback on the things that you wanted to go ahead and do.
I know, but like when I suggested to move to Miami, you were very polite about making me think that it was my idea. The fact is that no woman on the planet living in like a place like Toronto, when their husband says, hey, you know what, like we're in Miami for 3 months, do you think maybe we should stay here? Like you're not like this superstar for saying, yeah, maybe we should move to Miami.
Miami was straight up my manifest. Like I knew I'm telling you, I told you already before, when we got on the airplane to come to Miami, we were walking to the plane. I looked back and I told myself, I'm not coming back. We rented a house for, I think, 2 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I knew that I'm not coming back. How? I don't know. I just knew that my chapter here is done. And I'm very happy that you were on the same page. So when that, you verbalized it, it was a very easy decision to make. But not even that. That specifically, it wasn't like, it was a risk, but we were both ready for it. But more of...
you never questioned me.
I don't question you. I trust you a lot.
Why wouldn't you?
What do you mean?
So that's the problem in marriage. People are like, for a woman to make a statement to her husband saying, I trust you a lot, to me, that means there's something broken in society. Why wouldn't a woman trust her husband? Why was that? That's like saying, I don't know, it's like saying to your kids, I love you. Of course you love your kids. They're your kids. Why? You should still say it.
You have to say it.
No, I'm saying...
And I'm saying to you, I trust you.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to explain to you is the fact that you're telling me you trust me because there's a world where a woman doesn't trust her husband.
There is a world where a woman doesn't trust her husband.
I think that's a stupid world.
I agree with you.
I think if a woman decides to marry someone, to marry a man, she should just like either say, I trust this man or I don't. And if you don't marry him.
Yeah, but there are instances where consistently, not every time, we're all human, but consistently when the partner you trust and trust and trust, and they...
I understand. But what I'm saying is when it comes to things like making these moves, we're talking right now about like, business and our life and moving and kind of navigating the world.
Even having children. Babe, we got pregnant like, I think 2 days after our wedding.
Yeah, on our honeymoon.
Were you not scared? Were you not like...
Scared?
Yeah, because you knew me for a year.
So what?
Were you not like, what if she's gonna just bolt?
What if she doesn't? I look at things a little different. When it comes to taking risk, that's like, I remember when I bought my first nice car. I bought a Mercedes back when I was in my, I don't remember, like early 30s, I think. My father, as being a product of the Soviet Union, he was always very scared of everything. So, he came to me and he said, well, what if you can't make the payments? What if your business goes down? And what if this and what if that? And I just looked at him. I go, what if I can? Like, what if I can make the payments? How awesome would it be to have this car like while I'm still young and enjoy something that most people enjoy usually later on in life? Like, what if I can? So to me, it didn't even cross my mind. Like when we got married and we right away tried to have a child, who is awesome, by the way. Jake's great. I was just talking to him this morning. When we did that, no, it didn't even cross my mind. It didn't even cross my mind. What if this doesn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even, I didn't even think that way. Why would I? I already made the decision. I made the decision to ask you to marry me. And when I made that decision, like, that's it.
Honestly, that's what I love about you the most. That decisiveness is just, it's another level. That's your alpha male situation.
You know what it is? If you notice, if people who are listening to this or watching this, if they go back and they consider the things that they were super decisive about, I bet most of the time those things worked out. It's the things that they weren't sure about and they weren't decisive about, because it kind of manifests itself, right? If you're unsure about something, like as an example, when you started this career, and we often talk about that first payment coming in, that first sponsorship coming in, the first brand partnership. When I saw that, I said, this is it. Like, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is going to be our family's business, and we're going to be doing, all of our businesses are going to stem from this, with you doing this, you know? And we didn't look back. We were decisive, and we still are decisive that this is it. And how interesting it is that...
we made that decision together.
No, we did make that decision together. No, of course. But, well, yes and no, because when I first came to you and said, oh, we should hire a videographer, your first response to me was, this isn't a business.
Yeah, because of my lack of understanding.
Whatever.
Right.
Regardless of where it came from.
When you were very decisive about the vision, that's when I was like, okay.
Right. But that was right away.
Yeah.
Right. So we did that, and we're decisive about it, and we still are. And look what happened. The whole industry, like I keep reading, just today I was reading a Forbes article saying it's like the golden era of content and content creation, and everything to do with creators, you know, has continued to just grow exponentially. So to me, it's just like anything we've been decisive about has worked out. Yeah. We were this, I was decisive about marrying you, and I thought you were decisive about marrying me.
I was. What do you mean I thought?
Okay. So we were both decisive about getting married.
Yeah.
It's working out.
Yeah.
We're both decisive about this career for you. It's working out. We're both decisive about Miami. It's working out. So whatever you're decisive about in life, that's what works.
I mean, yeah, you know, they say that no decision is also a decision. Like at the end of the day, every decision you make is still a decision.
I don't understand what you just said. You just reminded me, you know who you reminded me right now? You reminded me of Joe Biden in the debate with Donald Trump, where he just said a bunch of words.
You know what?
Remember when Trump said, I don't know what he just said, and I don't think he knows what he just said.
You know what? Fair. I had it in my head. It made sense. And then when it came out, I was like, wait, what?
All right there, Sleepy Joe.
I'm really proud of us. I don't really have anything else to say, honestly. I'm really proud of us. 12 years felt like they went really fast. Like really fast.
You look the same.
I'm grateful for all of it. Thank you. You don't look the same, but you look good.
Thanks. I don't look the same, but I look good.
Yeah.
That could be taken as you're not as bad as I thought you'd be.
No, not at all. Like you look good.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I feel like you feel good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do a lot of stuff to try to stay healthy.
I appreciate it. You know, did you see the video that I shared of this I don't remember his name, but he said that when people say I take care of you and you take care of me.
I saw that.
It really resonated with me.
But say the whole thing.
He said how he used to say, I take care of you and you take care of me. And then he said how it felt like weak and it felt not powerful enough. So this man said, I changed the saying from you take care of me and I'll take care of you to I'll take care of me for you and you take care of you for me.
Yeah, and I think that's the fundamental thing. You know,
yes.
Lauren Bostic on Skinny Confidential, she asked me the question, what I feel is the the kind of one of the keys to a successful marriage, and what I said to her was that it's really important to let your partner go off on their own and evolve and improve themselves, and to do the same for yourself. And then when you meet, you're constantly evolving into a better version of yourself to serve not only yourself, but to serve your partner. And that's what keeps marriages interesting. It keeps it's interesting for me to see you continuously evolve with the books you read, with the way you take your career, with the way you're evolving for the kids, and then and I'm doing the same thing. I feel on my side. So I think that's the key.
I also really appreciate, as a woman, we're kind of positioned in a family unit as someone that takes care of everybody. And it takes a lot of energy. And we do that for the kids because we need to. But a lot of women do it for their husbands. And I cannot tell you how draining it is to take care of another grown person. You already give so much out of yourself. You have nothing left. I really appreciate the fact that I don't need to do that in our relationship.
I literally made sushi yesterday. You
really did.
And the boys were ecstatic about it.
You literally did. But even beyond that, just you showing up, what an amazing lesson for the boys. You showing up for yourself. I'm not telling you, I'm not constantly here's your clothes, here's your food, I don't do any of that. I don't mother you. And there's a lot of relationship where women mother their husbands. So this is very special, and I thank you for taking care of yourself.
But no, they're really coming into their own, and I'm really enjoying it. Do you want to talk about the fact that this reel with Jake has 2.4 million views? I know you don't like it when I talk about numbers because you're modest, but this reel has 2.4 million views of Jake.
I mean, let's talk about it. It's on your mind. What do you want to talk about?
Well, no, it's amazing to me that this particular piece of content with just you and Jake just talking and him saying you're an introvert and he's an extrovert and that's why you guys make a good team.
Because I think that our kids are... Jake is brilliant. So I think that
Ben, you're also brilliant, son.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the video with Jake. Ben knows that he's brilliant.
And Max, when you're older, you're also brilliant. You're only 5 years old now, son. But when you see this, you're going to be older.
But I think it's really cool for people to see a child, talks in that way.
I feel like in that interview with you, when he was actually sitting in this chair, he really made an effort to contribute to the conversation in a way to add value to the conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's, first of all, I mean, frankly, it's good for the business. It is. You always give me this look when I relate things back to our business.
No, I don't give you that look. Babe, I've learned that you think about it in different ways. I think about it in different ways.
I don't see a negative connotation.
There's no negative.
The fact that we can bring our kids and, they were in the content before when they were really small and there was a really cute and fun factor to them. And yeah, that benefited the family by having them in the content. Now it's different because they're contributing on a different level now. That conversation, and by the way, we chose not to air the entire clip.
Yeah.
I don't remember the entire episode.
I'm just very protective of them. So to me, I think when I hear you say it's benefiting the business, for me, I right away think about these crazy families that are, putting business over their children's well-being.
I'm not putting business over the children's well-being.
I know you're not, but I'm triggered because of that. Because I just see too many parents that disregard the implications of pushing your children.
No, I agree.
On social media.
I agree, but I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying if you can have a constructive conversation with our children one at a time, and there's a benefit to the kids to have that conversation, and they feel like they're contributing to our family by doing it, and it makes business sense.
Yeah. So if you would have started it like that, I wouldn't given you the look.
I know, but the chronology of my sentence, of the way I'm mentioning this, shouldn't play a role. I'll tell you.
It should play a role. What do you mean? The way you construct a sentence,
No, I know, but why do you assume?
Gives you different messaging.
No, but why do you assume that the order in which I list the benefits of you interviewing them, means that the order in which I list the benefits have a direct correlation with the importance? Why?
Because that's how people use the English language.
That's not how people use the English language.
You say the first thing that you say is what you think of first.
Every list in conversational English is sorted by importance.
To me, the way I receive it as someone who is talking to you right now, sitting with you, if you mentioning that's the first thing that you mention, to me, that's your priority. Because that's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is that the way you said it, if it's benefiting the kids, they feel like they're contributing, it's actually giving them confidence. Because at the end of the day, that's all I care to do. What I want to do with their kids, I want to instill confidence. I want them to feel capable, and I want them to respect themselves.
I understand, Valeria, but
so if this format gives them an opportunity to sit down, voice their opinions, have a conversation, and it feels they're contributing and also builds their like confidence muscle, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I guess where you and I differ is that I don't let this bias, this of commercial viability, get in the way of how I feel about doing something with the kids. Because you may look at this as that the benefit to our business is almost like a negative, or it doesn't matter. But I look at that as a positive, because when I go to Jake, and I haven't done this yet, and I show him this piece of content, and I say to him, son, this piece of content had 2.4 million views, which is, I don't know, 3 times more than the average reel that we get on Mama's Instagram, and because of you, we gained over 7,000 followers. The fact that I can quantify that with commercial viability and show it to our son to say your contribution resulted in this, and I can use real data. You have a negative to it. I don't have a negative to it.
I do have a negative to it, because when you're an adult, you can understand when you say the data and quantify, you can look at it from that like a different perspective. What I am trying to avoid is you come to a child that is still learning to understand his own value. If you come and show him this and you're like, look, a video with you got 2.5 and we got 7,000 subscribers. What I'm worried about is that he's now saying, oh, we got this. Okay, yeah, I'm cool. I'm matter. I'm smart. I'm this. And then the next time he'll see that there's no follow. I see it with grown people that experience that.
But why can't you provide him with additional? Why can't
you can? I'm not saying that not do it. What I'm saying is that I'm wary of rushing with these kind of things, because I want to. Again, I don't want to be that thing, that interaction, to just snowball into something else.
But I disagree with you. So I think that you're talking about a mentality where remember when we went and the boys had a jiu-jitsu tournament?
Yeah.
Okay. And there were like 200 kids in this jiu-jitsu tournament, and they all got a medal.
Yeah.
They all got the same stupid medal.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Ben, who was maybe 7 at the time, he came to me and he said, "What is this? Everybody got a medal?" He's like, "I've been practicing for so long, and I know I did better than everybody else. Okay, maybe I didn't get first place, but I got the same medal as the other 200 people." He almost said this is bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so to me, if you don't want to quantify a child's contribution, a child's achievement, something that they tried. Jake tried. When that clip, guys, play this clip. He tried.
You're very much of an extrovert, which I am not so much.
You're an introvert. I did a personality test called 16personalities.com with you, Ben, Max, and I got a campaigner. I forgot what you got, but you got an introvert. You're mostly an introvert, and you're comfortable doing stuff online, but not outside.
I am a mix of both, because I love the social aspect, but I have a limit. I do require a lot of time by myself so I can rejuvenate.
I think we make a great team, because I like to do things that it's embarrassing in the public, and you don't want to get embarrassed in public.
I don't think I care anymore about being embarrassed in public.
He wasn't just sitting blabbing. He was thoughtful, and he tried to add value. You want to take that away and say, let's not explain to him the value that he brought as a result of his efforts? That's where I disagree.
Let's explain to him, and that's a big emphasis on explaining, but that's the thought process that is going in my mind. I see so many young people that put their value on these metrics.
But none of those young people are our kids. Why are you assuming that?
Because what I see is what I see.
But they don't have. I know, but our kids have you and I to speak with them and explain to them. Yeah. When you were growing up, and one of the reasons you have this confidence is that you weren't born with confidence. I know the stories. You were very not confident, and your mother always kept telling you, "You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best."
Right.
So just because I'm attaching numbers to telling our kids that they've achieved something, raises a concern for you. I just disagree with you. I disagree with you that I shouldn't sit down with Jake and say, here's the data behind your contribution. This is what you contributed to the family.
I agree with you.
Because you know what? I sometimes see him, and maybe sometimes, not just him, I think all children, they feel like all children have these episodes of feeling not good enough, of feeling like, like they're not disliked, but whatever.
Insecure,
they feel
yeah.
insecurity.
Yeah.
We have a way to tell our child, this is like, you tried really hard when you did this, and this is amazing. And here's the quantifiable results of what your effort created. Like, here's what you created. Here's the value that you created for yourself and for this family. And your concern is that you're taking the negative out of that he's going to go and walk around saying, all I care about is views and followers. Well, that's just fun. To me, that's just fundamentally wrong. So you have to filter, like you have to like not tell your child they achieved something. I wish my parents would have said to me that you achieved something, because I went through most of my childhood thinking that I wasn't accomplished. You know what I mean? So I disagree with you. I think the context is important.
Yes, the context
to tell a
is
child
very
that
important.
all that matters is followers and likes and views. No. But to quantify their achievement is not wrong.
I guess it's the same as like he would go on stage and, make a speech or something, and everyone is like clapping. And that's a real life example of what happened on that post, right?
You just have this negative connotation attached to it.
I do. You know what? Because I don't know, social media just, with young minds, just scares me. It just really scares me.
That's why we don't let them on social media.
Yeah, I know. But I think that's like my reaction, of like, no, guard them.
I know, but that's not the way the world works. You're not going to take a child.
I don't give us enough credit as parents.
No, you don't give me enough credit, because I said I'm the one who's going to go have the conversation. You don't believe that I can correctly convey to him.
No, I believe that you can, absolutely. I believe.
But you took the opposite position.
I needed more context.
It's next to impossible, because the problem isn't being able to physically take away a device from your child. The problem is as soon as your child leaves the house, that I don't know why, but every other parent, like most parents, still don't understand the dangers of extended exposure to social media for small children. And so every other parent has their child with a phone that has Instagram and TikTok, which I think is extremely dangerous. We went on a field trip with Jake, and all the other kids had devices and Jake didn't. But I can tell you that if we told someone, hey, if you're going to have a play date and you're sending your kid over to our house, like they can't come here with technology, that kid's likely won't want to hang out with our kids.
Yeah.
I know, but that's a problem, because then it unless parents
I think that's why there's this, what's the guy's name, which I really respect, that wrote the book The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt. He's doing a really great job making it more of a social movement of like, we can't just put it on the parents. It has to be school-free zone, right? No, phone-free zones in school.
Which it is.
No, it's at our school, but it's not everywhere else. Do you know how many teachers are like, no one is paying attention because they get a beep or this or a message or they're watching porn. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah, because there's teenagers, right? So he's like, there's no schools with phones in them. The second thing is no social media before the age 16. He's trying to bring it as a law. Not a law. How do you call it? Like as a...
I'm not sure. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, I think he just passed something saying kids can't be on social media before 16.
Before 14. So I think it's it's not just parents. Yes, I agree with you. It's bigger than us. It needs to be a collective effort for everybody. Who are you calling?
Hold on a second.
The school?
No.
What school? It's summer.
Celine? Yeah. You were supposed to come in here.
They never came.
Stop. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. I will. Thank you. Bye-bye. That sucks.
What happened? Did you get me flowers?
I did, and it just never showed up.
Assholes.
Celine was supposed to walk in here with these flowers and present them to you,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Like you'd won a beauty pageant.
I did win. I won the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Happy anniversary.
Do you want to know what I got you?
Flowers.
Yeah, but which ones?
Roses.
How'd you know?
Because I know you.
Yeah, 24 red roses.
Oh, that's Russian style. I love
I understand, but it sucks because and I think there were some chocolates there too.
It
But did you
sucks
see?
because you wanted the chocolate.
Well, I did want a chocolate, but did you see it? It said the photo was
Yeah.
the guy in his car.
Yeah, sabotage. I mean, not a lot
You
of
think
people.
he stole? You think he just
yeah,
stole?
2,000 roses? Are you kidding me?
He just stole the roses?
Yeah. He said bye.
Stop. But
Yeah.
did he not? Did Daniel not know that I was gonna like message these and say that?
We'll see what kind of customer support you're gonna get. Daniel, we're coming for you.
Mm.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you guys for listening. Can you sing for me?
No.
okay.
I don't even feel like rapping.
We're gonna develop that muscle as
No,
well.
why do we have to develop this muscle?
Feather tickling and singing.
No, it's the feather tickling.
Connect with your feminine side.
I don't want to connect with feathers. Can we just leave feathers out of it?
Oh my god, that was my hip.
Yeah.
Done. Yes.
No feathers. It's not happening.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't miss my newest episode right here. And if you're listening to the podcast on Apple or Spotify, please go and leave a review with your biggest takeaway. I love reading your thoughts. And if you have any suggestions for guests or topics, you can leave them in the comment section. And always, always remember, you are not alone.